Manufacturers often believe they do not need cyber insurance because they do not store much data. And while this is true regarding data, manufacturers are one of the highest hazard classes of business in cyber insurance, as they are heavily targeted for ransomware attacks. Last year alone, the manufacturing industry saw an over 1,000% increase in ransomware attacks, and that is likely not going to slow down. And when ransomware strikes, there's a wide range of costs that come along with it, which is why the average cost of a breach to the manufacturing industry last year was over $4.5 million. Let's look at all the different cyber exposures that manufacturers face when hit by ransomware. When ransomware strikes, manufacturers' assembly lines are usually completely shut down and they're up against the clock as they're unable to produce any product. The very first cost they will incur will be the cost of hiring breach counsel. Their breach attorney will serve as their quarterback for the rest of the process, and they will help the manufacturer hire a forensics firm to do a full forensics analysis. Depending on how long the hacker has been on the network and whether they have access to backups or not, this forensics process could last several days and sometimes weeks, all while the business is unable to produce product. The breach counsel will also help assist the manufacturer on whether they should pay the ransom, which is normally requested in Bitcoin. These ransoms are usually in the hundreds of thousands and sometimes even millions of dollars. Once the manufacturer can get back up and running, they are then faced with the harsh reality of how much revenue they lost during the downtime. And these numbers can be very significant, especially in scenarios where they had to be fully shut down for several weeks. It's still not over at this point though, as breach counsel will then have to determine if there are any regulatory actions, fines, and penalties that could come into play, and they must deal with the reputational fallout they may face when the public finds out of the breach. While ransomware is generally the most devastating form of loss amongst manufacturers, the most common form of loss is cyber crimes, such as social engineering, funds transfer, and invoice manipulation, where money is stolen from their bank accounts. Manufacturers are accustomed to wiring out large amounts of money on a regular basis to buy the parts and equipment needed for the job, and they are therefore a top target amongst hackers for these types of cyber crimes, as well as other business email compromises that target their corporate bank accounts. All the losses discussed in this video can be covered by a broad cyber insurance policy, which would not only financially help the manufacturer survive the breach, but it would also help them navigate the claims process by supplying them with the top vendor partners who specialize in recovery services. For more information on cyber insurance and how you can better protect your business, reach out to Koru Risk Management anytime.